Well, hello. Hi out there, everybody, and welcome to the Velocity Showcase. I assume you're out there. It's a very daunting situation to be talking straight into a camera and welcoming you this evening, but I'm sure I'll get some texts and find out after we go to this first section in any case. So, first of all, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, as we always do at MAP events. The lands that I'm on this afternoon and this evening are the lands of the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung and Bunurong peoples of the Kulin Nation. So we're all on different traditional lands tonight, being a virtual event and being spread across Australia and elsewhere. So if you'd like to share where the custodial lands that you're on this evening, please go ahead and do so in Slack. So I am going to introduce my first guest in a second, and we'll have an introduction from him. I'll come back. I'll talk to you a little bit about what's going to happen tonight. There's lots of guests, and then in no time at all, we'll get to the most important part, the pitches. So, first things first. I all assume that you're visiting the Velocity Showcase website. That's where this video has been embedded, and I hope this is where you're seeing it from. If not, I'm not sure how you're viewing it, but congratulations regardless. So I'll go through that website in a second. I'll go through the different channels we have to interact and engage tonight, and we'll talk through how it's going to happen. But first of all, I'm going to go to our first guest, and that is my boss, Executive Director, Professor Colin McLeod. So let's have a listen to what's in store for the broader entrepreneurial system at university over the next year.
Hello and welcome to the Velocity Showcase for 2020. I'm on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and I'd like to pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. This is a program to help very early stage ventures, and in the 4 years it's been running, we've supported over 170 founders who have created 91 startups. They in turn have raised almost $9 million in funding, and importantly in the current environment have created over 200 jobs. We're also very happy to report that 48% of Velocity startups have a social impact focus, 52% of our founders are women, and 68% remain operational. So about 2/3, which is a very high number for an early stage program. Lakshmi also mentioned that we're going to expand next year so that Velocity can go to more founders. In fact, it'll go out to about 120 early stage founders in the next 2 years, including an online version to reach remote and rural communities around the state. It was also great to see the ongoing support provided to Launch Vic in the recent Victorian state budget. It didn't just acknowledge the great work currently being done by Launch Vic, but also signalled the importance of innovation and entrepreneurship in the post-COVID-19 world. I think of an innovation that we would all embrace. The other big news for Velocity, and in fact all of MAP and Translating Research at Melbourne, or TRAM, is that in 2021 we're moving to Melbourne Connect, which is a new innovation precinct on the edge of the Parkville campus that will bring together the university, industry, government and entrepreneurs in one location. The Velocity program has a major role in this community as a key pipeline to programs like MAP and TRAM, as well as the broader entrepreneurial community ecosystem outside of the university. One of the great examples of the way in which all this works is Navi Medical Technologies, which was co-founded by students from the university's engineering faculty and our business school, who actually met for the first time in a classroom and invented what became known as Navi as an assignment. Navi participated in Velocity in 2017 and then went to the MedTech Actuator in 2018. In 2020, Navi was the only international participant in a prestigious US pediatric accelerator, and Navi also recently secured almost $400,000 as an accelerating commercialisation grant from the federal government. There are several teams tonight that share similar origins to Navi in that they started out as student projects. We hope that they and all the other Velocity teams become equally successful. Finally, I just want to acknowledge the team at MAP. Running a program online is no easy thing, so my thanks to Lakshmi, Tim, Natasha and Heath for all the incredible work that they have done this year. And finally, just thanks to everyone for coming along tonight. Your support means a lot to us, but I think more importantly, it means a lot to the founders. Enjoy the presentations.
Okay, Wonderful. Thanks so much for your support, Colin. I know he'll be here somewhere tonight. He always is, contributing to those channels and connecting people as he does. So I thought I'd take a quick second to go through how tonight's going to run before going to our next guest. So basically, if you're on the website, it's there. So all you need to do is scroll down to the different sections of tonight. It's not too complicated, and there's a few different things happening. So obviously right now, hopefully you're in the Slack channel. If not, join up, jump in there. There's a lot of activity going on. It's a lot more fun with friends, and it's a lot more fun interacting. So that's happening for the whole night, basically. You're obviously watching the stream. Now, after this, at 6:30 p.m, we've got a series of Q&A rooms with the founders. So you'll find that there's 3 rooms with 3 or 4 startups in each of those rooms. They're being hosted kindly by my colleagues. So jump in there, you get to meet the founders in person, and you'll be able to ask some questions and listen to everybody else's questions. So there's one more thing happening tonight as well, and that's a speed connecting session that's being hosted by Heath Evans and Rebecca Marks. Now that is happening concurrently with the Q&A rooms, but you don't need to choose one or the other. Please go to the Q&A rooms first if you're interested in doing that. And then, there'll probably be people speed connecting after that as well. So you can make a choice, or you can go to both by going to the founder rooms first. So that's about it. If you do have any questions, if you've got any sort of technical issues at all, the Slack channel's a good bet. And hopefully your friends and our workers will sort of help you out there. So up next, it's the person who brought the progress that you're going to see tonight. Accelerator Manager MAP20, who coordinated this program managed even this program and the MAP program early in the year. So she's going to explain a little bit about how the founders got to where they were today, what was the situation like under COVID, and what we have in store next. So I'm going to duck down, click the next thing, and introduce MAP20.
Thank you, Tim. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we are delighted to present to you a selection of our MAP20 Velocity teams that are making their debut in the entrepreneurial ecosystem. My name is Lakshmi Poon, and I'm the Accelerator Manager at the Melbourne Accelerator Program. Now, this year, I had the opportunity to work closely with these 21 teams, and it's amazing to see how far each of these teams have come, despite the unusual times we are living in. I must say, just the thought of being an entrepreneur during these rocky times, and also working full-time or studying full-time and running a startup, is a brave decision, one that requires passion, focus, and resilience. Now, in the Velocity program, we focus on helping these founders find their first customers and identifying and validating the market opportunities. And as you might know in the room, that this is rarely a linear process. It involves numerous customer interviews, interactions, feedback, iterations, and frustrations. Despite all these, our teams gave their 100% and focused on solving the problem, connecting with mentors, stakeholders, and customers where needed. And I must say, they have done a wonderful and fantastic job, because many of them are first-time founders. Whether connecting with hundreds of coffee producers to consumers worldwide, or encouraging ethical fashion through loyalty programs, or connecting people over lunch, or even connecting memories, our startups are redefining the way we do things. And tonight, I encourage you all to please reach out to these founders, connect to them via Slack and also Zoom rooms. We'd also encourage you all to connect with them and continue their journey, whether being part of their business as employee, advisors, or general supporters. As in any MAP program, our mentors and alumni play a key role in the progress of our startups. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank our mentors and alumni for generously giving their time for our startups. I'd also like to thank Professor Kwang and our Chief Entrepreneur in Residence, Jeremy Krabel, for playing a key role in this year's program delivery. I'd also like to thank our ecosystem partners and our guest speakers who represent some of the most leading entrepreneurs, investors, and thought leaders in the ecosystem today. I'd also like to thank our MAP team, Tim Bright, Natasha, and Sujit for their hard work, and Professor Colin MacLeod for his leadership and guidance. As I leave you tonight, I'd like to reiterate Professor Colin MacLeod's gratitude for LaunchVic. With their support, we are able to support founders across Victoria. So in early 2021, we will be launching our first virtual program for Velocity program, and we cannot wait to support our founders across Victoria. So stay tuned for that, and if you know any early stage founders across Victoria or any programs that work with early stage founders, please connect them with us. And I hope you enjoyed tonight and have a fantastic evening.
Thanks so much, Laxmi, for that terrific introduction. Now, I've kept half an eye on the Slack channel, and there appears to be lots of over-enthusiastic congratulations, which is very nice. But if there are any sort of questions that you might have or issues, you can probably put in there too, and I'll sort of read them when I get the chance. Any questions about what I was cooking earlier or anything like that, I'll try and answer it, but it may not be that exciting. Maybe guess the number of spices. We'll give away a free co-working spot next year or something like that. All right, so we're just going to continue on with the action, and I've got a final MAP team member from the core team to introduce today, and that is Natasha Luscri. Now, Natasha isn't going to give a speech to camera per se. She is going to be running all over the riverbanks of Footscray, introducing the 11 founders that we have tonight. So needless to say that Natasha has done a terrific job, not just with this showcase, but with the programs throughout the year. Yeah, so that's about it. So Natasha's voice is the next voice you're going to hear. Natasha isn't going to introduce herself in that sense, but that's who she is. Say hi to her on the Slack channel, and I think you'll all agree that she's done a tremendous job tonight. So we're going to jump into the first 3 or 4 pitches. Terrific founders, great traction and growth. Then you're going to see me again, and I'll introduce our next special guest, and we'll go from there for the next 50 minutes or so. Okay, thanks everyone. I'll see you soon.
Up next is Ashwin from Ethicos. Apart from his amazing hair, Ash and his co-founder Abigail are seriously creative, having run some of the most interesting guerrilla marketing campaigns in the cohort. They're getting ready to incentivize ethical consumerism with their startup Ethicos. Here's their pitch.
Every single one of us, both you and I, we know that unethicality is incorrect theoretically, but so many of us just don't want to take that step forward because we're comfortable where we are and we don't have enough of a reason to care. Abigail and I, we started Ethicos 16 weeks ago, and we started to make sure that we can give people that incentive. And we're starting in fashion because it's one of those industries that's quite large, and there's consumption by the second, and businesses are dominating the industry, and we know about the unethicalities there, but we continue to ignore it. People are not responding to demoralizing, so we're choosing to incentivize instead. At Ethicos, think of us as flybys, but instead of catering to Coles, we choose to cater to ethical fashion businesses all over the world. As a consumer, what that means is you basically go into a store or go online to our website, you make an ethical purchase and you get points just as you would with flybys, and you can use those points later for your purchases to get discounts or even donate it to a non-profit. And each time you make a purchase, what happens is we give you an information guide that's fully audited about the businesses you interact with, because every business is now claiming to be a superstar local producer, but customers and increasingly governments need to know exactly what that means. We're operating in a market that's worth $11.9 billion, and by 2023, we know that this market is going to be largely untapped, given that a lot of large fashion marketplaces don't want to change the way they operate. We currently signed 50 fashion houses all over the world, and we've raised angel funding recently of $120,000. Okay. In terms of revenue, how we make money is basically each time we sell something, we make 15 to 30% of what we sell. And on top of that, we charge for our annual audit fees, for our extensive ethicality audit. There's also an advertising charge and a monthly platform fee for our merchant partners. In terms of opportunity, we've got basically, there's only 2 other players globally. We've got Shukran from the Middle East and iShawat from the UK, both of them being loyalty platforms just like us, but neither of them actually cater to the ethical generation. Channels-wise, we're partnered with the United Nations and other great women communities around the world, and we basically built an ambassador network of 250 ambassadors from all over the world. And on top of that, we're also doing Facebook ad campaigns and influencer marketing strategies through which we've amassed the likes of Oprah Winfrey and Drew Barrymore as ambassadors for Ethicos brands. In terms of the team, both Abigail and I, we've spent over 10 years working with the United Nations in the Middle East and the ASEAN region to enable SDGs and their frictionless adoption. And both of us have combined over 10 years at Deloitte, KPMG and Accenture within strategy. Today, we're asking for you to tell us who your job-seeking network is because we're hiring a full-stack lead, and we're also asking for you to please sign up on ethicos.io.
Dee and Lyra from Carry Medical, another dynamic pair of women founders striving to launch their startup forward. They are both biomedical engineers and have created innovative CPAP masks designed to help adults with obstructive sleep apnea using cutting-edge 3D technology. Here is Dee to tell you more.
Imagine you keep waking up at night because you stop breathing. Imagine having a silicone mask tied around your head all the time during sleep. This doesn't sound like the most pleasant thing in the world, but that's what sleep apnea patients have to deal with every night as they need CPAP therapy to have a sleep. My name is Steve from Carry Medical. We are here to empower patients to better manage their sleep apnea. For 900 million people around the world who have sleep apnea, many of them experience side effects of CPAP therapy, such as ear leaks and skin irritation because of unfit masks. 35% of patients find it challenging to find a mask suits them, and 45% of former CPAP users quit the therapy because of unfit masks. Our solution improves the CPAP mask selection process by providing patients evidence-based mask recommendations. Patients just need to fill in a survey, take a 3D scan, and our algorithm will recommend the mask has the most compatible design. So what's good about our solution? Well, instead of wasting time and money to find the best mask from a wide range of products, patients will have an easy and affordable mask fitting experience. Our mask selector reliably inform patients on how their anatomy, physiology, and habits guide the selection process. We embrace a personalized mask. We embrace a personalized approach on managing sleep health, and we envision more customized solutions in our future product development. Our total addressable market is $2 billion worldwide. As the number of sleep apnea increases every year, our digital solution has great potential to expand quickly. We are the right team to solve this problem. Apart from being a biomedical engineer, I have experience in communication with patients and stakeholders. Our co-founder Lara leads the product development with experience in translating data-driven medical research into innovative clinical solutions. Since we joined the Velocity program, we have made great progress in validating the problem, our solution, and our business models. In particular, we have received great feedback from patients and clinicians on our selection algorithm. Our goal is to release our MVP in 2021. And today, we are asking for your help to achieve our goal. If you know anyone who has sleep apnea or any sleep clinician who might be interested in our solution, please help us connect with them. Thank you.
Up next, I'm excited to introduce Gordon, co-founder of Resilient ML, an innovative company using market-leading research to drive AI and machine learning commercial solutions. Gordon has been an incredibly engaged founder throughout the Velocity 2020 program, helping champion our founders to the MAP community. Here's Gordon to tell you more.
Hi, I'm Gordon Gay, one of the founders at Resilient ML. Over the past 20 years, I've been involved in creating new products and services. Based on that experience, I saw the need for data analytics. Resilient ML's vision is to create artificial intelligence software to enable decision making. Every day, individuals, government, enterprise generate data that's equivalent of 2.5 billion movie downloads. Industry and analysts have estimated that of that data, 99.5% is not used, is either deleted or stored. Because of the sheer size of that data, computer software is needed to analyse it. Our solution to the problem is to create a robust, resilient and interpretable machine learning platform. If data is the new gold, we're looking to build the picks and shovels to access that gold. Machine learning platforms, or AI software tools, are an identified market segment. It's estimated this year the market size is 7 billion, moving to 90 billion in 5 years' time. Our differentiation is to create the AI software tools to analyse that data to execute decisions. The software skills required to do this are quite scarce. An engineer or PhD scientist with the right skills can command high salaries over $1 million Australian dollars a year. In terms of our progress during MAP, we've shifted from development to customer-driven development. The accelerator has helped us connect to all our identified lead customers. In terms of our current business opportunities, we're in discussions with the government service provider on the use of our voice biometrics analytics and artificial voice detection software. We have an application idea that was provided by Universal Music Studios in LA for music. We have an NDA with Microsoft Seattle, and we're discussing the use of our tools for cybersecurity. We've committed to deliver a demonstration to a fintech platform by the end of this year, with the opportunity for tailored applications the first half of 2021. Our team is comprised of academic and commercial experience. The research is led by Professor Gareth Peters with 20 plus years of AI and machine learning expertise, and he's a chair professor in maths and statistics. For myself, I'm leading the commercialization. I have 20 plus years of product development and business experience. Thank you for your time and interest in the Velocity Showcase. If you'd like to hear more on how our solution can create new value for your business, you can contact me on my email address.
Okay, thanks everyone. I'm terribly sorry about these few glitches in the stream there. I'm sort of following along as I can here, and when it is getting out of sync, I can sort of try and get back to where we were, but obviously it's not ideal. So very sorry, Dee and Ashwin there at the start. The good news is I think we're getting most of these pictures in, and it's sort of clear, and we'll obviously have these available after the show. So, you know, we'll have them available on our website, we'll have them available on our YouTube site, and we'll send it out to everybody that's watching. So apologies once more, we'll just do our best, cross our fingers and hope that the gremlins will go away. But as we know, some of these things unfortunately happen as a result of this crazy sort of virtual situation we're in. So appreciate your patience and thanks for that there. Shouldn't have made the joke about the spice rack. So up next, we have a very special mentor for the program this year who we were really surprised at how generous he was with his time. So I'm talking about Associate Professor Kwang-Wee Lim, who is from the Melbourne Business School. And Kwang often comes down to deliver these very specific and very helpful, sort of powerful one-off lectures. But he did a lot more than that for the Velocity team this year, and kept on coming back and kept on giving some sort of significant sort of assistance. So Kwang's got a small message for the founders, and then we're going to go on to the next pitches. So thanks very much, hopefully, and let's fingers crossed this next section goes smoothly. I'll see you soon.
This year, I had the pleasure of working with the MAP Velocity teams throughout their journey. They have been spectacular. Velocity teams have to balance two forces: a passion to do what they set out to achieve at the start versus responding to feedback from their customers and advisors during Velocity. This year was particularly challenging because the market conditions were very fluid. Our teams did extremely well in revising their assumptions and adapting their strategies. Part of this was because of the strong support the founders gave each other, both in terms of sharing the knowledge as well as the emotion. As a result, our founders have found good opportunities to go beyond MAP. Many have developed a greater sense of confidence as entrepreneurs. I would like to wish the knowledge as well as the emotional support. As a result, our founders have found good opportunities to go beyond MAP. Many have developed a greater sense of confidence as entrepreneurs. I would like to wish them all the very best as they continue building their startups and creating new and exciting market opportunities with their customers. All the best.
What do you get when you combine an award-winning storyteller with an 18-year career in multimedia and a wicked social impact cause? Founded by Jessica Ferrari, our next startup, Memento Media, is a multi-generational living family archive. Jess has been a stellar member of our 2020 cohort, constantly iterating on her MVP, and I'm excited to introduce her to tell you more.
I'm Jessica Ferrari from Memento Media. As a documentary maker and oral historian, I've captured hundreds of stories, but I missed a really special one. My own grandmother's. I could have captured it, it's what I do, but the truth is I didn't want to admit to myself or my nan that I thought she was going to die. And I'm not alone. Meet Shirley, she's a 55-year-old teacher. Her mum has led a fascinating life and Shirley's worried that her stories will be lost, but she doesn't know how to bring it up without heralding her mum's death. And that's just one of her problems. She doesn't know how to record it, what questions to ask, and then what to do with it all at the end. Memento Media is here to help you discover, record, and create beautiful memories. Our discovery cards engage the whole family in conversation. Our memory bank app records and archives. Then we make a range of engaging, shareable mementos. Problem solved, right? But remember how Shirley didn't want to shine a light on the fact her mum was going to die? Memento Media is redefining the way families capture their history. Now it's about everyone. Nan, Shirley and 10-year-old Olivia sitting down and sharing their stories. Imagine hearing the excitement as Olivia talks about winning the 100-metre race, and then witness that moment of connection as Nan reveals that she won the 100-yard dash when she was at school, all captured as part of a multi-generational living family archive. People care about family history. Ancestry.com is a billion-dollar market, but Ancestry.com is about the dead, and Memento Media is about the living. And there are 3.4 million over 65s living in Australia alone. And we've got real-life Shirleys signing up for our products. Our affordable cards and app discover the stories, and then our tiered premium mementos, along with our premium video products, put a customer value of $2,000 per Shirley. And there are a lot of Shirleys out there, and Bruces and Barbaras. We know because we talk to them. And once we got them talking, they wouldn't stop. Turns out people love talking about family history. Who knew? Well, we did, and that's why we're here. There are other people out there doing similar things, but they don't have our validation, our Shirleys, or me. I'm a multi-award-winning documentary and storyteller. I've worked with National Geographic and the ABC, and I'm on the board of Oral History Victoria. For 5 years, Memento Media has been bringing families closer together, but we want to help even more families. During Velocity, we've built and improved our MVP, and it'll be available on the App Store soon. What next? We've received funding for iteration and market testing. What we're looking for? Introductions to amazing individuals who can help us grow, and we want to hear from organisations that are interested in partnership. But most importantly, now more than ever, people understand the importance of connection and how fragile life is. So if you love making, sharing and treasuring memories, please sign up. Memento Media, saving life stories.
If 2020 has taught us anything, it's the importance of being a lifelong learner. Our next founder, Ryan, created Meta to improve the way students and learners acquire knowledge. Ryan has spent extensive time during the program refining his MVP, and I'm super excited to introduce his pitch.
I'm Ryan, the founder of Meta, and we help people transform the way they learn. For most students, your final year in high school is an important year. And like many students, when I was finishing high school, I worked really hard. And it paid off. I graduated top 1% in the state. But the cost was very high. Because of the way I studied, I was burnt out, I couldn't remember a thing, and I never wanted to study again. How I studied was not sustainable, but I didn't know any other way. Like me, many students were not taught how to learn. And in fact, 4 out of 5 students improvise the way they learn. Unfortunately, students' intuition aren't great, and it leads them to choose techniques that either give the illusion of progress or waste time. For some students, working hard is enough to compensate for this. But for many others, studying harder is not enough, and any extra effort is wasted, academic results suffer, and negative mindsets about ability can develop. This comes at a time when being able to learn effectively is more important than ever, as the pace of change in society accelerates due to technology automation. And while secondary school and university enrolments are projected to grow rapidly, our solutions to equip students with meta skills are not. The good news is that learning is an acquired skill, and we can use the science and research behind how the brain encodes information to help students adopt more efficient and effective learning techniques. Our product is a digital tool that enables students to organize, monitor, and review how they learn in order to save time, get better academic results, and build confidence. Through a simple and intuitive UI, our app enables students to manage their study schedules and tasks, set goals, track learning activity and behavior, and obtain personalized learning advice based on the strategies that they need to achieve. During the MAP Velocity program, we've conducted significant research into student behavior. We've identified high-performance learning strategies, and we've distilled the science of learning. We've incorporated these into our prototype, which we're testing with early users now. And we're building up a community of interested learners to whom we're going to open up our MVP to in December. As the founder of Meta, I lead the strategy, growth, and product. But most importantly, I'm deeply passionate about learning and helping students avoid the mistakes I made to become great at learning. Our vision is to empower students to transform the way they learn and develop a sustainable system of lifelong learning. So, head to metalearn.io to sign up to our waitlist and learn how to learn effectively.
Next, I'm excited to introduce Kang from ClassCom, an AI-based platform that enables personalized learning experiences for students. Kang has been an incredibly inspirational founder, somehow juggling a brand new baby and an ambitious tech startup. He's managed to show great progress during the program, and I'm excited to introduce him to you to tell you more.
So hello everybody, I'm Kang, founder of ClassCom, a platform to help institutions to deliver quality instruction at scale in online learning. I was teaching at MIT and University of Melbourne when COVID-19 happened, and I could no longer have a face-to-face classroom environment with my students. I could no longer interact with them, support them, and engage them personally. I could no longer go to one of my students, Jim, and ask how he's doing, if he needs any help in his studying. And the same for Jim, he could no longer access to a community of students who could help him to study better. He could not ask his friend John sitting next to him about a problem he had in his studying. That's why ClassCom was born. So ClassCom is an AI-powered messaging platform installed inside the learning management system. That one example, Anna, my student, who she's studying online by herself in Canvas, and she's having trouble with some ways or some learning content. So ClassCom will proactively approach to her and ask if she needs some help, and then ClassCom can offer some of the help through the AI-powered chatbot. And if ClassCom cannot help her, ClassCom will direct Anna to me as a teacher who can help her personally with her most important problem. ClassCom can also help Anna to connect with Kay, who is having the same issues or studying the same problem with Anna, so they can study together better. So we have expanded inside our MIT with our colleges, and the feedback was very positive. So ClassCom helped teachers to be more engaged with the students, saving time and easier to manage. So Nick and Dr. Prena also said that ClassCom is an effective tool and very easy to use to engage with large class size. So we have expanded inside MIT and also in British University in Vietnam with 7,000 students. And since joining MAP Velocity, with their help, we have got Canvas Learning Management System and Microsoft Education in Vietnam as our partners. And we also have Flexidata and our distribution partner who help us to reach 200 education providers in Vietnam. So our business model is annual subscription software as a service to our partners. So we want to reach 220,000 annual revenue by charging $5 per student per year. And with $5 student per year and 4 million higher education students in Australia and Vietnam and 17 million working adults, we can reach 350 million annual revenues in both Australia and Vietnam where we focus. Our founding team is very experienced. I'm Kang Wall, founder and CEO, experienced in education technology. We are a sales director and one technical director. Each of us has about 15 years of experience in our field. So what we're looking for today is connections to universities and education consultants who we can help their e-learning delivery and implementation to be more successful with more student engagement.
My name is Elena Kellerova. I'm an entrepreneur, ex-Googler, and a long-time mentor at MAP for many years now. This year, I've been particularly involved as a mentor in the Velocity program. What I love about being a startup mentor is seeing the entrepreneur's journey with their businesses, seeing them clarify, refine, and improve their ideas, and seeing their growth as a person along the way. It's really rewarding seeing the diversity of ideas, the energy of the founders, and being able to play a small part in their journey. I also run a regional startup program in Gippsland, so I'm based 2 hours out of the city. So one really nice thing about this year is I was able to be much more involved as a mentor because of being able to have meetings by video conference. Our own program also went entirely online, which made it much more accessible to people living in the really remote communities. I'm looking forward to seeing how the learnings from this year end up being used into the future to keep improving accessibility of startup support for regional founders. As a mentor, one of the things that always stands out to me in a program like this is how much personal growth founders experience going through it. With any early stage startup program, there'll be some ideas that don't work out, or some founders who just choose not to continue with their idea. And that's okay. A program like this is not just about growing startups, it's about growing business leaders. So for all the founders, if you were selected for this program, it's not just because of your idea, it's because the team believed that you as a person have what it takes to succeed and to make a difference in the world, whether with this idea or the next one or the one after that. So to all the founders, both those pitching tonight and those in the audience, I hope you've learned and grown through this program and that it will stand you in good stead in your future journey.
Co-founded by two dedicated women entrepreneurs who've shown incredible resilience during COVID-19, Capito Collective is a range of stylish children's clothing designed specifically to promote comfort and independence in dressing. Throughout the MAP20 program, these founders have shown incredible resilience and driving their startup forward. I'm excited to introduce Sally to introduce more about Capito Collective.
Hi, I'm Sally Wright and I'm a paediatric occupational therapist. Heather Calabora and I first chatted about our business in July. We talked about children that I see that have difficulties dealing with the sensations of clothing or being able to lace, thread or button, involving fiddly hand skills, coordination, planning, large body movements and focus. The Raising Children's Network cites multiple studies that show that children learn best when they're actively engaged in dressing. We realised that there were no mainstream products that supported these findings. Heather was the right person to talk to, having had 20 years' experience in the technical clothing and fashion industry and also being a fun mum of two. Our vision is to create inclusive children's clothing following ethical and sustainable practices with a local social impact by following established leaders in these areas. Capito Collective was born. Capito means I get it. Sophie is in prep. Every morning, her loose school dress and socks with a seam are distressing. Seams and edges actually cause her to feel pain, and she can't do up her buttons. 10% of her classmates are the same. Nearly every day she becomes distressed. This results in her parents feeling stressed, anxious and emotional, all before the school bell. They worry that Sophie will continue to struggle. Nearly every child will have dressing challenges in their early years with different levels of distress. A solution is needed. OT sessions cost $200, which can be half of their annual school fees. Our considered clothing with chunky zips, colour-coded buttons with larger holes, larger neck openings, sensory soft pockets and no sewn-in labels make it easy for Sophie to practice dressing on herself and use her new skills to wear the rest of her clothes too. We will also make seamless compression clothing for helping with sensitivities, focus and movement. Together, these children's clothing pieces for different ages and stages will help children to feel comfortable, proud to get dressed and to show their identities. The Velocity program has helped us to build the framework of our business model. By talking with potential customers and mentors, we've realised the need for a multi-sales channel. Our market is parents and caregivers who are savvy, make ethical choices, and are willing to invest in their children's development, comfort, and style. We will attract independent retailers that provide a curation of children's clothing that is positive, educational, and fun like ours. To attract these modern customers, we need marketing and an online social presence. We are now prototyping and sourcing our ethical supply chain. We'd like mentors in marketing and business strategy and users to trial. From Capito Collective Clothes, little things move and grow.
As a mother and food scientist, our next founder created Minjam's Foods to help parents improve their child's healthy eating habits. Many members of the MAP community have become devoted healthy Minjam spreads converts, foregoing their fast food diets. Here's Minerva to introduce her startup and help make you a convert.
Hello everyone, good evening. I'm Minerva, the founder of Minjam's Foods, nature's goodness in a spread. I'm a food scientist with over 15 years of experience in the food industry, passionate about food product development, and a mom of a 3-year-old girl who has been my inspiration. I want the best for her, and food is my #1 priority. When I was looking at the supermarket for healthy and convenience foods, I realized that most of the products were high in refined sugars, saturated fats, sodium, or contain preservatives. On the other hand, poor diet is a big issue in Australia and around the world, where in Australia, just 1 in 17 kids are eating the recommended daily intake of fruits and vegetables. And not just that, 1/4 of the daily calorie intake is coming from junk food. Minjams are plant-based spread made just with wholesome ingredients such as lentils, fruits, and vegetables. 100 grams of Minjams contain 1 serve of fruit, 1 serve of vegetables, fiber, and protein. We don't have any other sugars, preservatives, or artificial ingredients. Our products are very versatile, and chai, raspberry, and cocoa can be used as a spread, as a dip, as a condiment, as a snack, or even as a dessert. Comparing our cocoa spread versus other chocolate spreads in the market, our main ingredients are lentils and dates. The others are sugars and vegetable oils. Regarding saturated fats, we have 0.5% of saturated fats comparing with 11%. The healthy snack food market will be globally at $32.3 billion by 2025, and in Australia, it's a $2 billion market. We are selling direct to consumer, and since we launched our online store, our customer database has increased in 352%. We were selling just in Melbourne, and right now we are selling across Victoria. And also, we have been recognized for the Food and Beverage magazine as a finalist in the Startup of the Year. We want to build an Australia with happy and healthier kids, and of course, healthier families. We are looking for business partners that works with moms that help us to reach more families and increase our impact. And finally, choose to spread the health and scan our QR code to go to our website. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Minerva, and thanks very much to all the guests so far and all the pitches so far. Terrific group of people, and can you believe that, you know, a few months ago, they were in a completely different place. In fact, a number of them, as you've heard, had barely put these ideas together in June and July this year. But it goes to show that the focus that you can put on solving the problem and talking to your customer can go a long, long way to getting traction very, very quickly. So we've only got a few, unfortunately, pitches left, so we'll get on to them in a moment. But I'd just like to remind you that this is just part of the show. Another specific and exciting part of the show is you get to meet all these founders afterwards and ask them the questions that you'd like to hear and learn a little bit more about them. You can do that via the Q&A rooms, and of course we've got the speed networking happening as well with Rebecca and Heath, so be sure to check that out. So a lot more fun to come. So I will introduce our final guest of the evening, who will then introduce the final pitches as well. and that is a lady and a great supporter called Emma Forster. Now, Emma works at the City of Melbourne. She's going to describe exactly her relationship with MAP, but terrific to have her tuning in from New Zealand, I hope, tonight, and enjoy the rest of these pictures. We'll see you soon.
Kia ora folks, it's Emma Forster here, beaming in from across the ditch in New Zealand. I'm very lucky to be working remotely for the City of Melbourne during this time. I'm in the Economic Development and International branch where I look after startup and innovation related projects. It's our vision for Melbourne to be the #1 destination for startups and entrepreneurs to start, grow and go global. But we can't do this alone. We have loved collaborating and working with the University of Melbourne on a number of initiatives over the years, including the Melbourne Innovation Districts Partnership, Melbourne Knowledge Week Festival, and of course one that's very dear to my heart, the Open Innovation Competition, our annual challenge to solve a city issue. The MAP team have been amazing partners on the program, bringing their support through expertise, mentorship, judging, and of course offering one of the most sought after prizes, entry into the MAP Velocity program. Over the last couple of years, we've seen some incredible founders make waves through Velocity, and this year is no different. The Open Innovation Challenge statement for 2020 was around waste elimination and how to make Melbourne a more circular and sustainable economy. The next pitch you are about to hear is from the overall winner of this year's competition, Charity Bay. Now, the co-founders, Heider and Matteo from Charity Bay, are a pretty dynamic duo, and they've created an online marketplace to direct proceeds of unwanted items to charity. I'm super excited to see the progress that they have made through the MAP Velocity program since they won the competition back in August. So, without further ado, take it away, Charity Bay.
Consider this. Jessica has a few items lying around the house, such as a bed that no one has used in a while. She'd love to repurpose it ethically. She's very considerate about others in the world that are underprivileged. That being said, she hates having to deal with the constant "is it available" message or the "I give you $5 pick up now" message that's common on marketplaces. Instead, she prefers to pass on the item to someone who needs it. Meanwhile, there is John, who's currently looking to buy a bed but prefers to buy secondhand where possible. He also likes to know that his money is going to have an impact, and John is the type that would go to an op shop when given the option, as it's his way of giving back. What Jessica and John both don't realize is that there is a way in which they can not only help one another, but also support charity without going out of their way. Introducing Charity Bay. We are able to come up with an easy and accessible online marketplace that equips every individual with the power to help by converting items or services into cash donations that are sent to their chosen charity. The process works by eliminating the current linear take, make, waste model that we are experiencing and instead converts it into our already working circular approach, where people and companies can donate their items or services, others can buy these items knowing that the 95% of the proceeds are being sent to a good cause, and charities can benefit from the proceeds, allowing them to focus on their causes. It's as simple as donate, buy, and smile. So far, we have seen upwards of 2,700 items go through our platform and upwards of 350 charities on board with us. This prevented 13 tonnes from becoming hard waste in the City of Melbourne and provided much needed funds to approximately 70 charities that are changing the lives of people around the world. Our platform is automated and self-sustaining and allows us to receive 5% commission on all successful transactions while also supporting ad space. In terms of competitors, you can clearly see from this graph that Charity Bay is where social benefits meet scalability. This is because of our ability to provide selling and buying with purpose, easy navigation and discovery of charities, contactless door-to-door nationwide delivery, as well as tax rebates for eligible purchases. Collectively, our team boasts over 48 years of experience spanning across the organization. In terms of scalability, we've had 1,300 users adopt our solution organically with minimal exposure through the charities. Yet there are over 56,000 active charities on the platform whom each have thousands of followers that are ready and wishing to give back. We are eliminating the current misconception that money is needed to help by converting household items or services into proceeds where 95% of which are sent to charity. Recently, we had an electric drill sell for $14, which enabled a migrant woman to have a full day of training here in Melbourne. So even small things can have a big impact. You yourself can change the world this month by buying a present that gives twice. So donate, buy and smile at charitybay.org.
Did you know the average human creates 200 watts of electricity at rest? What's more, when sprinting, a human being can create 2,000 watts. Co-founded by Jackie Fish and Jake Robb, our next startup, Generation Gyms, is a climate-positive concept gym that does just that. Let's hear their pitch.
About 18 months ago, I was at the gym on the rowing machine, and I stopped and looked around at all the running treadmills, the burning fluoros, the blaring screens, and I thought to myself, wow, so much energy is being consumed, and all of my human energy is going to waste. We need to find a way to close that loop and power the gym. It turns out that a regular gym is actually very energy hungry. It also turns out that it's quite simple to close that loop, offset the energy losses, and make some small but significant gains. I'm Jackie Fish, and with my co-founder Jake Robb, we are going to fill the gaping green hole in the fitness industry. We are Generation Gyms, and we're going to empower your power. So how does it work? You go into your local Generation Gym, scan your QR code, and get onto one of our generator bikes and start pedaling. Your energy creation, linked to the grid, is tracked and charted and shown on your screen in real time. So no longer are you recklessly throwing away that human energy, you're capturing it. You're watching it accumulate and you're putting it to good use. And all the while you're getting fitter. Generation Gyms is the only Australian sustainable ethical gym. So with us, you will look good, feel good, do good. Through the Velocity program and over 60 interviews, we found that our main customer is female, she's over 25, and she's the type of woman who makes green and ethical choices. We also found that young men are into the idea. So our accessible market is huge and getting bigger every day as people make more and more sustainable choices. We are a classic membership business model and we're easily franchised. With our human energy feed-in tariff, our customers can choose to save on their membership fees or donate to charity. Basically, the more you exercise, the more you save or the more you give. Imagine the pride in knowing that your energy, your exercise, has helped pay the power bills of, say, the local women's shelter. It's powerful incentivisation. We see a business and franchise opportunity akin to what F45 is doing. It's a $4 billion industry nationwide and we are unique within it. Incredibly, by replacing just one standard gym, a Generation Gym can cut CO2 emissions by up to 80%. So just think, with only 50 sites across Australia, we could be saving over 3,000 metric tonnes of CO2 annually. Jake and I are here because we're passionate about the environment and about energy use. And MAP has taught us that what we need to do now is build the right team. We are currently making an activation pop-up gym, which we'll use for proof of concept for investors and also for market testing. So if you're an engineer or a fitness industry entrepreneur, then come join us. Help us build the next generation of gyms. Help us connect people with the true value of a watt. Thank you for your time. Looking forward to meeting you.
Is there anything better than a fresh cup of coffee in the morning or any time during the day, really? Our next founder, Sebastian Farias, co-founded Farmore as a digital hub for trade communications and education in the sustainable and specialty coffee market. Sebastian is super passionate about helping communities trade more easily, and I'm really excited to introduce you to him to tell you more.
Hi, I'm Sebastian, and I'm co-founder of Farmore. We're revolutionizing the way coffee producers connect with consumers worldwide. Let's meet Sarah, the future of agriculture in Colombia. Back in 2017, with coffee prices at 15-year lows, Sarah was surviving on bank loans and credit, often having to sell at a price that wouldn't even cover her cost of production. After joining our education programs, Sarah was able to focus on high-quality production and to understand the international market requirements. Through Farmore, Sarah expanded her network as we effectively connect her directly to a coffee roaster in Australia. Her story has been featured by Hair Canberra, and she's now getting paid 50% more than the average price. Coffee is a $200 billion industry. However, most of the profits it generates are accumulated by supply chain operators, while the majority of the risk are borne by the producers in origin. I'm Sebastian Farias, and I was the Director of Sales for one of Australia's oldest coffee companies and pivotal in their expansion to Southeast Asia. I've been also rewarded with many recognitions in the industry, such as the Australian International Coffee Awards in several categories. My co-founder, Scott, has consulted for many ASX 100 companies as brand experience director, and he's designing our business from the perspective of the people we serve. So, how do we help millions of growers like Sarah? Our solution is a people-centric platform for trade, communication, and education. We connect the most amazing sustainable coffee producers to a global network of consumers without any middleman. So you get to drink some of the finest coffees on the planet at a great price. Farmore has integrated an end-to-end coffee supply chain from crop to cup. By allowing you to know where your money goes, you're also able to see the impact that it's creating in those communities. We offer a 3, 6, and 12-month subscription plan that will be delivered to match your consumption habits. We believe this model is highly scalable to other crops such as cocoa. Prior to our incorporation, we spent 3 years in Colombia partnering with an NGO, and we educated 400 producers that were affected by the war. We also hosted 2 coffee festivals. The pandemic hasn't slowed us down. We launched Cool Hand Coffee, a direct-to-consumer brand, and we also formalized import agreements in South Korea and Australia, representing over $200,000 in revenue. As our launch is approaching, we want you to help us create a further impact for many producers like Sarah by subscribing to our pilot program. Farmore's vision is to enable more agricultural practices now and into the future. Thank you.
Well, there we have it, folks. All 11 of the pitching founders tonight. But don't forget, we had more than that in the program this year. Quite a lot more, actually. There was a total of 21 startups that participated in the program this year. You can find a little bit more information about them on the website. Just scroll right down to the bottom. You can see their founders and their LinkedIns and things like that. But keep an eye out for the names, because we're sure that they're going to continue to do terrific things in the future as well. And I'm sure we all agree that the founders that we saw pitching tonight, we're going to hear a lot more about. So you were here first, remember that, and when they go on to terrific things, which they're already clearly doing. So that's the pitching element of tonight all finished up, folks. So we're going to head on to the Q&A rooms now and the speed networking, if that's what you're doing, and then enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you so much for your participation on the Slack channel. I had a half night and it looks like it was going crazy, which is terrific. I'll join you in the founder room soon as well. We'll see you at the networking, and thanks very much. Again, sign up to the mailing list, register your interest for the MAP or the Velocity programs if that's what you're interested in. You'll be the first to know, and we'll be opening applications soon next year, and we'll be doing some terrific more programs. So thanks to the whole team, and we'll see you.